Back out in greenhouse this morning, and I'm still looking at these bowls that we've got holes drilled in. Really cheap set of bowls that we bought. And because we're now getting very close to the start of spring, we're all itching to plant as much as we can. But just bear in mind, it's still a little bit too early. These temperatures are dropping to -1 again next week. And that's no good for pretty much most plants, except all the cold hardy ones that we've already got growing. But it don't mean you can't sow a few seeds and take them indoors. Unfortunately, that's the only option we've got at the moment. So for now, we're going to have to stick with that. I've decided I want to plant some more onions again today, but I want to plant a different type, ones I've never done before. And they're called Paris silver skin. So they're really small pickling onions. And we have pickled cucumbers and beetroots and all sorts of things in the past, but we've never actually pickled any onions, which seems a bit strange. But I think this year that's exactly what we're going to be doing. But to start off with, we need to grow some. And I think if we grow them in one of these, we can just multi-sow them, because we know the bulbs are only going to be quite small. So I would think even in a container of that size, we should be able to get quite a lot of onions. So we'll start off by filling this pot up, and then we're going to sow some more seeds after as well. So I'll just fill it up quickly. That's the reason I like these pots. You get a lot of compost in them. I'll not fill it right at the top, because we know that onions are shallow rooted. And I'm going to press it down a little bit. Just going to get us a nice level bed to start us off with. So we've left a little bit of a gap along that top. And I do always water compost before I put seeds on. It just stops them moving around while I'm covering them. Sometimes you need your seeds to stay in certain places and not end up all bunched up to one side. And doing this helps with that problem. As soon as they hit that compost, they'll stick. And that'll do. So then basically just going to broadcast seeds over the top of this container. And we'll put quite a few on to guarantee us some decent germination. Because you have to bear in mind that onions can take quite a while to germinate and take even longer to grow. So at this time of year, what we want to be doing is mixing up the plants that are cold hardy, that might take quite a while before it's time to harvest anything, and mix it up with other varieties that are still cold hardy, but they're very fast growing. And that's the next one we'll do after this, the fastest growing vegetable that you can actually grow. But before we do any of that, I just want to say thank you to the people who have donated to this channel over the last couple of days. It's very generous of you in this current climate to even consider donating to a channel, and the fact that you have done it is nothing short of amazing. And that's going to really help me out over the next month with buying new containers and compost so I can keep making these videos. So thank you very much to Susan Considine, Kevin Jarman, also Samuel Ewan, Shamsa Khan, Andrew Miller and Priyam Patel. And I really hope that I did pronounce those names correctly. If not, I do apologise. As I said, that's going to help me out a lot over the next month or so. And I could not appreciate it more. So thank you very much for that. So, on with the seed sowing. So that's all nicely set up now. And we'll get some of these Paris silver skins sown. Nothing different about these seeds at all. Just like regular onion seeds. Black on dark compost. Not easy to see. But we're just gonna broadcast them. And we'll try and separate them as much as we can as we go. But if we get quite a few seeds in here, considering there's quite a lot in that packet, I think we'll be alright. And when I'm doing onions, and we've got quite a lot of seeds to go at, I'd rather overseed and then thin out at a later date than put too little on. And I think that's perfectly fine. Normally I'd use a sieve when I cover these, but because this compost I've bought seems quite light, I'm just gonna carefully sprinkle compost over the tops of those seeds and see how they go for a change. But I'm not getting rid of that colander yet. So just a light covering. And I think that's plenty on those. I'll put my seeds to one side because I've got an habit of watering plants and forgetting the seeds are there. And wet seed packets are definitely no good. Then another water. And I'll probably take these back indoors again because it's obviously going to germinate a lot quicker. And since we've got that -1 temperature pending over the next few days, it is going to hinder germination of anything to some extent. So we'll give them a really good watering. And then I'll pop a label in them. And that's as pickling onions all set up. So they'll go back indoors and we'll see how they get on. And then if we go from long growing season plants right to the other end at scale, we can look at things like radish. Radish is your fastest growing vegetable out of everything. And although people grow that for the little bulbs, you can just grow it and eat the leaves as well. They've got a bit of a peppery taste to them. And this one's called French Breakfast 3. So all the time that we're growing things that are going to take quite a while to get to maturity, along the way we can grow things that will harvest a lot quicker, like all the salad leaves. So since this radish is the fastest one going, and we want to see something growing at this point in the year, then why not try some of these? And then you've got those two choices. You can either grow them on to get those little red and white bulbs, or you can just harvest the leaves as they're growing. But either way, you're going to get a quick fix until we actually get round to some decent weather so things grow a lot faster. So let's try some of those as well. And they're going in one of those bowls. Once again, radish, shallow rooted, plenty of compost in this container. Just same as I did last time. We're going to just bed it down nice and level. Give it a quick water. And all the years that I've actually been growing radish, I've never come across a single soil that didn't have really good germination. So if you're a newbie gardener and you want to start off with something about as easy as it gets, try some of these. So we'll get some of these into. And again, radish seeds, quite big, but light coloured this time, so really easy to see. And just like we did with those pickling onions, we're just going to broadcast them over the top. And I'm going to make sure I put lots on here. Anything that you multi-sow in any container can always be thinned at a later date if needs be. I'll show you how many I've put on there. Quite a few seeds on top of that compost. And again, I'm just gonna lightly cover this by hand. We have got a few stones in this compost, which we already looked at. But for today, let's not try and be too perfect. Let's just sprinkle it over until we know that everything has got a covering on top. And we'll just see what happens. But as I'm going, stones that I'm finding, I am taking out and discarding to one side. And then we're just going to level that down again. Water that in. And at the same time as I'm doing this, I am blasting the dirt off the edges, because again, this will be going indoors. One labelling, another one's done. So we'll take these 2 containers, we'll pop them indoors, and we'll wait for that germination to occur. And I might not be uploading a video tomorrow because I'll be back at work for a few hours, but we'll definitely have some more videos coming on Thursday. And one of those videos is sowing sweet peas, the flowers, because they're also very cold hardy, and we've got some seeds that we saved from last year. So we'll try a few of those and maybe a couple of other things as well. And if you want to see what those are, please hit that subscribe button, press that notifications bell, and then we'll see you on next upload. Take care.